is the city, maximum COVID. That's right. Mumbai is the city which is now the biggest concern in the battle against corona. The Mumbai spike is what we want to start with. Remember, COVID cases May 1st, 7,625. By May 6th, they had crossed 10,000. By May 16th, they had gone up double almost to 18,000. So Mumbai was doubling at that moment by almost every 10 days. But take a look at what has happened since then. From the 16th, 18,000, we have now in 8 days, once again coming close to doubling, 31,000. At this rate, Mumbai will cross more than 1 lakh cases by the end of June. And that's the concern that everyone has. India's commercial capital is our focus. And joining us now is the man who has perhaps the most difficult task at the moment in the country. IS Chahal, senior IAS officer, is the BMC commissioner appointed just a few weeks ago. And he will be questioned by several Mumbaikars along with me. Dr. Jaleel Parkar is a pulmonologist at Lilavati Hospital. Niranjana Hiranandani will join us, co-founder of Hiranandani Group. Sucheta Dalal is managing editor of Money Life and an NGO that is working on COVID. And Sahil Joshi is our executive editor and Mumbai bureau chief. I appreciate all of you joining us. But Mr. Chahal, the focus is on you, sir. When I put out those numbers, do those numbers scare you? That Mumbai has reached 31,000 at the moment, and if this rate continues, will cross 1 lakh and beyond by the end of June.
Rajiv, good evening. Not at all. Let me explain you how. You know, Mumbai today has 32,000 cases and active cases are 23,000. And if you see, 15,000 people have been discharged and they have got well. When we were in the first week of May, we were told by experts, both in Mumbai and Delhi, that we would have 40,000 active cases on 31st of May. So accordingly, when I joined on the 8th of May, I swung into action. That time I had only 5,000 beds. And these were DCHC and DCH only. Today I have crossed 10,000, and in another, by Saturday, I will have 14,000 beds ready for me. DCH and DCHC, all oxygen beds, out of which 1,200 ICU beds. And if you add this triple C, the COVID care center, where we send asymptomatic positive cases, I'll have 44,000 beds ready with me, whereas I expect only about 27,000 active cases on 31st of May. So, what was projected for Mumbai of around 40,000 plus cases, we are at 27,000. Now, this is one part. Let us not get into figures. Let us get into strategy. Now, number one strategy was the hospital management. So, what we have done is, we, in fact, at the outset, I will really be very grateful to the private big hospitals in Mumbai. We got into talks with them. I said, no coercion, no force, no orders under Epidemic Act. We must work together. So we had 4 rounds of meeting under the chairmanship of Chief Secretary, and then the 4th meeting was held in my office, where I requested all the CEOs and managing directors of these hospitals like Beach Candy, Nanavati, Bombay Hospital, Lilavati. I said, it is a matter of prestige for the city of Mumbai and the financial capital of India. The world is watching us. Let us join hands. Let us have self-service. We should not think about money, about profit now. And I said, you give all your 100% ICU to me, 417. You give me all 100% COVID beds to me, 2420. And whereas non-COVID are concerned, 3020, I said, give me 80% of that. And these will be charged at government rates, 4,000 rupees for normal COVID bed, 7,000 rupees for oxygenated bed, and 9,000 rupees for ICU bed. And they were so kind enough. I am really grateful to them. I literally, with my folded hands, I begged to them to join me, and they did. And hats off to them. Today, we have a single dashboard of private hospitals and government hospitals, and we are now, since last 3 days, everything is online. After every 30 minutes, we have updating on our dashboard of any bed getting vacant or any bed getting occupied. Not only this, these 10,000 critical beds, which can handle serious patients, which will become 14,000 by the Saturday, we have now given unique IDs to each and every bed, whether government or private, and in another 3 or 4 days, we'll be allotting bed numbers to people who call on 1916. For example, if somebody needs oxygen bed in KAM, he'll be given KO25 bed, and he walks straight on the bed. He doesn't have to wait in the hospital. So this, we will be ahead of the virus. If today we are prepared for 27,000 active cases with 44,000 beds, I am planning to have 100,000 beds by 15th of June. And I assure you it will be done.
You're telling me, Mr. Chair, you're telling me that you'll have 100,000 beds, because our reports, when we've gone to the grounds, have suggested that there is an overcrowding at the moment. The pressure is on 4 hospitals.
It was,
yes.
But now with 33 major hospitals, with 33 major hospitals joining KM, Nair, Sion, St. George's, GT, peripheral hospitals, and 33 major hospitals joining us, now it has become a big group of hospitals which are fighting hand in hand. So this is how my bed figures have become very easy in the last 3 or 4 days. Like today morning, I got a list at 8 a.m. of 1,000 cases, and by 12 o'clock, everybody got the beds. And I had 450 beds spare with me, including 25 ICU beds today.
Okay.
And I'm happy to say that we started 1,000 bed jumbo facility in MMID in open ground BKC, and today we have 40 patients lying there who are positive cases, and that center is open, and we're going to take it to 500 by the Saturday. So this is the first case of 1,000-bed hospital in open ground, constructed in 10 days, and now functioning with the ICU attached to Asian Heart Institute for the time being, and then 200 bed ICU coming up there, with 600 oxygenated beds in that facility.
Can I ask you, though, the second concern, Mr. Commissioner, is that when you took over, the focus at that moment was in Dharavi. And it was seen that because this was the most congested area, that could be the most vulnerable. You managed to get down the numbers of Dharavi down considerably in terms of doubling. But new areas have been added. If you look at areas like Govandi, Andheri, Chembur, Bandra East, again large sprawling slum areas. So is the fear, as you chase the virus, you can chase it in one area, in a city like Mumbai, it multiplies in new areas?
Rajdeep, on 8th of May, when I joined, we had 2,900 containment zones, and today we have 633. When was 10 days back, and now it is 656 with me. Now, and I didn't compromise with any population or the area involved, but you will be happy to know that majority of the cases are coming from containment zones and their high-risk contacts in our quarantines, in institutional quarantines. You are right. In many places, new cases are coming up, but that I clearly admit that, because in Mumbai, with the density of population, it is not so easy. I would say it's extremely difficult, or I can use the word impossible, to fully contain the zone like I did in Islampur in Sangli when I was looking after the Maharashtra state. And we had 26 cases there, not even a single case came, all discharged, all got well, and Sangli had become zero viral district.
Right.
But such things are not possible in Mumbai, where the density of population is so high, where 400 people share one toilet in Dharavi. But I'm happy to say that Dharavi used to get about 150 cases a day, and day before yesterday had only 24 cases coming from there.
I take that point, but Mumbai is still adding about 12 to 1,500 cases a day, and there are question marks. Are you testing aggressively enough now? A few hospitals which have allegedly wanted to test have been sent notices because they were keen to test patients with mild symptoms. Are you now only very clear you want to test or actually only identify those who you see as critically infected?
No, what happened that on the 18th of May, the new guidelines of ICMR came from Government of India, Ministry of Health, and that said that you check symptomatic cases on priority. And what happened that when we instructed the flu clinics that you must take asymptomatic cases, we found that we were not getting enough number of symptomatic cases. Like for about 4 days in a row, we didn't get more than 3,500 cases. And then we got back to Government of India. Now we have decided to, in fact, we launched a new policy yesterday, and it was in a 4-hour meeting with all the ward officers. The policy enunciated by me is known as now get out of the virus, we have to chase the virus. And in doing so, even if temporarily the figure goes up, doesn't matter as long as our management of hospitals, ambulances, doctors, and healthcare is there. You know, you'll be happy that today also, in spite of all this talk of Mumbai going out of control, my death rate today is 3.2, slightly more than national average of 3.0. And now you see, in a week's time, I am going to get that down to 3.0.
You're going to get the
reason. I'll tell you why. We started.
That's your claim.
Let me explain why.
Yes, go ahead.
Number one, when I joined, the number of ambulances were only 100. Today we have 456 ambulances on Uber platform. I have tied up with Uber, and there are 456 ambulances controlled from the control center, and I have increased ambulance by 400% to get critical patients from their homes or slums into hospitals so they don't die. Number one. Number two, I have established a live, real-time portal for dialysis, which involves exactly 84 machines for COVID and 6 COVID dialysis machines for suspected COVIDs. This dialysis online system involving nephrologists of Mumbai is the first of the kind in the world, which started functioning 2 days back. And this one, Dr. Bichu, who came to my rescue, he created this online portal. Now, with this, people can book online the machine, and we can do 600 COVID positive dialysis in one day, and about 100 COVID tests of suspected COVID people. We have now separate centers for suspect people, like in Chembur. So if somebody is not accepting that you are suspected COVID, you go drive straight there, and no question asked, dialysis will take place. So in this system, the nephrologists can now open this platform, which is known as by the name coviddialysis.in, and he can book his slot, and immediately the dialysis will take place. So I'll ensure that not a single person dies of dialysis because of non-available dialysis now. Earlier, this was a major cause of our deaths. This is why this makes me confident that our death will come down.
Of course, those are all positive steps.
In the last 2 days, we have done.
Let me for a moment, Mr. Commissioner, just stop you.
Hi everyone, Preeti Chaudhary here. Hope you like this video. For latest news and analysis, like and subscribe to the India Today YouTube channel. And don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you for watching.